Our very first guest has made a career out of talking with her mouth full. She's a professional eater who you will recognize from the Top Chef TV show franchise.
The New York Post called her the #1 reality TV judge in America, and now she's at it again with the new show, Top Chef Duels. Gail Simmons, welcome to Arise 360.
It's so great to be here. Thanks for that lovely introduction.
Well, it's so true. You're like Bravo's favorite TV judge.
Yeah, I've been around a long time. Now that you mention it, it's true.
Why do they love you so much?
Good question. I've been asking the same thing. No, you know, it's fun. I've just been really lucky. I was on the very first episode of Top Chef when we first debuted in 2006, and it's just been such a wild ride. I'm proud to be part of it.
That is really cool. So the new show is called Top Chef Duels, and it's pitting some fan favorites against each other. Is that right? So what can we expect this time around?
Right. So it is the Top Chef kitchen, but blinged out like you've never seen. It's so beautiful. And instead of having, 15, 18, 20 chefs to start, every episode is 2 of your fan favorites, 2 of the most exciting chef testants from over the last 11 seasons and from Top Chef Masters who are one-on-one against each other every episode. And every episode is 3 challenges. So the first 2, they get to choose one to pit against their opponent. And then the third challenge is a bigger challenge, and the winner of that challenge goes on to our finale where all the winners compete against each other.
That sounds exciting.
It's a lot of fun. There's nowhere to hide when you're one-on-one. It's not like you can just get by. As long as you beat out one other person, you'll still make it through to the next round. One person loses and one person wins every episode.
And now this series also plans to showcase a bunch of celebrity guest judges along with you. So who are some of the people that are going to be appearing on the chopping block?
There were some amazing guest judges with us. I mean, people that you wouldn't believe know so much about food. Shailene Woodley from the new Divergent franchise came. She is a forager, a naturalist, super into food, was so excited to be eating with us. Pink came and ate with us. She sure is.
Wow.
She was amazing. I couldn't believe, she's such an athlete. She's such a star, and she couldn't wait to get herself into the Top Chef kitchen.
I can't believe it.
We had Rob Zombie. We had the cast of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the cast of Grey's Anatomy. Just an amazing roster of talented people from all walks of life who came and ate with us.
All right, well, we have a clip from the show. Let's take a look and discuss.
So, Marcel, I am going to challenge you to a dish that meant so much to me as a kid. And then it ended up being the dish that I cooked in the first restaurant that I ever worked in. And it's a dish that's on all of my menus in all of my restaurants. It's a classic. It's American. It's the iconic hamburger.
The iconic hamburger.
It doesn't get more serious than that.
Right.
But tell us, what are the guidelines that the contestants will have to abide by? And what's the grand prize? You have to tell us.
So the grand prize is $100,000 that one of them win at the very end of the show in that last episode. However, every episode, those first 2 challenges that they pit against each other, each one is for $10,000. So Curtis Stone, my co-judge at the beginning, the host of the show, at the beginning of every episode says, in 30 minutes, one of you will be $10,000 richer. And it happens like that.
They can win money all along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Great.
So you know what? I wonder, there are so many of these cooking show competitions and TV food shows out. Why do you think that it's becoming so popular?
I think for so many reasons. Everybody eats, right? It's not as if, I don't know the intricate rules of football, but I eat 3 times a day.
Right.
That's for sure. Everyone has an opinion about food. Even if people say to me, oh, I'm not a foodie, I don't know, but of course you do. You have opinions every day. You make choices. You judge food every day when you go and choose what you're having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So everyone is connected to food in some way. I also think people love seeing talented people do things well. And Top Chef is really about professional chefs doing what they do best. I think that's an amazing thing to see. And it's a part of the world we don't get to see that often. It's that window into a real restaurant kitchen, which is really intense and really competitive.
Wow. So these chefs are all supposed to be at their A game, but you have to spill. Were there some meals that were just really gross? And if so, what did you do? I mean, it's not like you can go like in the trash can.
I mean, no, there's no spitting into a trash can. But it is true that, look, they're all incredibly talented, but some of them have huge challenges against them. They have 30 minutes, for example, to come up with a dish. I mean, that's a difficult thing for anyone to do, regardless of how much of an accomplished chef you are. And there are definitely combinations that don't always work. There's also ingredients that we give them that I wish I didn't have to eat.
But I have to ask too, what if something is undercooked? Do you still have to eat it, or?
You do. I mean, look, if something's really undercooked and I'm truly worried about it, no, of course I won't eat it. And that strikes against them for sure, because that's part of the challenge. I have never had to eat anything that I'm really that uncomfortable with, although I would say in 12 seasons and 4 different spin-offs, I've only gotten sick once on the show.
Okay, that's pretty good odds.
Yeah. Stomach of steel.
impressed.
Stomach of steel.
Well, do you ever feel bad about saying that sucked? What were you thinking?
Yes, I do. I don't quite say it that
Right,
way.
right.
Although you're pretty
nicer.
good. We can talk later if you're available for the next
Yes,
season.
I am.
You are.
But I try to be really constructive with the chefs. I know that they pour their hearts into what they do, and I'm very sensitive about giving them criticism. I always want to give them constructive criticism. I want to tell them what they did right, and not give them critiques so that they feel bad, but so that they know what to do better next time.
When you always give great critiques, but we have to back up a little bit because you didn't come from the world of food. I mean, you went to McGill University in Montreal, and you studied anthropology and Spanish.
I did.
So how did you end up in the food world?
You know, what's interesting, that was a long time ago, and I have been in the food world for, almost 20 years since. But I will tell you that it actually makes a lot of sense. People always say to me, you studied anthropology and Spanish. What does that have anything to do with working in the food world? And I will tell you two things. One, what is food but the study of a culture, right? Anthropology is the study of traditions and cultures around the world, and food is the biggest teller of those things. What you eat tells me so much about who you are, no matter if you live in Africa, Asia, or in Dakota. So that is really what I love about food, that it tells us so much about where we came from, who we are as people. And the other thing is, if you work in this country, you need to speak Spanish if you want to really understand kitchens.
Oh, yes,
and so
honey.
it helps. It helps. And I use my degree every day.
That's
Okay, fair
amazing.
enough.
Wow. And so do you remember like the one meal or dish that really cemented your love of cooking?
Oh, so many. My mom was such a good cook. She really, I was very lucky as a child. She fed us so well. But I would say, I don't know, having like the perfect chocolate chip cookie to me is something that has always just been a little bit of magic.
Okay,
That
now you're
sounds
just making me too hungry.
I'm like, do we have some sets?
I know,
Hello?
right?
Hello?
Cookies, please. So if you had to only have one meal for the rest of your life, what would that be? I'm sure you get tired of it at some point, but what would that
I don't
meal
know.
be?
There's a lot of things that I want simple food. Like people think I'm really fancy or picky. I'm actually, when I have a choice, I want to eat spaghetti and meatballs forever.
That sounds
Don't
so
you?
good.
I mean, I could. I
Yes.
could probably
Maybe we can go out after.
simple, really good tomato sauce.
But I need some
little
garlic
bit
bread
basil.
with it
Yeah,
on the
sure.
side.
That's allowed. That's on the
Really
side.
Parmesan cheese.
Big glass of red wine.
Oh, okay,
But
we're
I
making
want
me
to talk
hungry.
to you about something because she's not just a professional eater. You're also a writer. I know that you wrote a memoir, Talking with
That's
My
right.
Mouth Full. So why was it important for you to bring your personal life into this story? Why was it
Sure.
important for you to express yourself?
Well, I think that for so many years, when I was deciding about writing a book, I was having a lot of conversations with friends, and I realized that for so many years, people come up to me all over the street when I travel, when I'm working, in the grocery store, and they ask me sort of the same 25 questions or so. And I realized when I wrote those questions down that the answer to them is the story of my life. How did you get into the food industry? How does one become a food critic? What's it like to taste all this food on the show? You know, what's it like to travel and be on Top Chef? What was the beginning of Top Chef? How did you get onto Top Chef? And most importantly, who do you think you are that you can just judge people and what they cook? So I decided the best way to answer those questions for everyone was to tell my story.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And
Well,
a lot of
that's
people
not
are
enough of a
interested.
sell then.
I know, right? Telling that story. So what advice do you give to people? Because so many people want to be the next top chef.
Yeah,
And the
it's
next
true.
Gail Simmons.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I don't know about that, but that's very nice. There's only one. No, I always give people the same advice that hard work is really everything. Do your research. Nothing comes easy. There's no shortcuts. People think that one day I just appeared on TV. I had 15 years of cooking in restaurants, going to culinary school, writing, working as an assistant, as an intern, getting people coffee. You know, I really worked really hard to get to do what I do every day, and I feel really lucky to do it. So I say find a mentor, find something you love to do, find someone that you respect who does it really well, and try to learn from them and just work hard at it.
Well, if anyone needs a mentor in microwave cooking, I definitely can help you.
You're
out.
the guy?
That's my specialty.
I'll send them all
I'm
your
more of a
way.
30-minute meals guy myself. But for the last time, can you tell everyone when they can catch Top Chef Duels on Bravo?
Absolutely. Top Chef Duels airs starting tonight, Wednesday, every night for the next 10 Wednesdays. Sorry, not every night, every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock.
That's
All
great.
right, well, be
Thank
definitely
you.
sure to
Tonight
check
at
you
10
out.
p.m. Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to cook. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
joining
guys. It was
us.
a pleasure to see you.
We'll be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360.